Hi there and welcome. My name is Sharon and others know me as Edu. Today I would like to share with you different ways in which you can buy quality, fashionable clothing at discounted prices all the time. And I will be sharing knowledge that I've come to learn from years of experience and basically telling you all the things that retailers probably don't want you to know. Most of these tips are great for physical shopping, as in going to the shopping mall or a store and buying clothes, but there are some tips that will work great for online sales or online shopping as well. If you use this first step or this first tip along with all the others, this is where you can buy items for next to nothing, and that is seasonal buying, but in the reverse. So for example, right now we are going into winter in South Africa. This is actually the best time to go shopping for all your summer clothes or your spring clothes because they are all on sale now. And once winter is done and we move into the spring and the summer, then you want to go shopping for your winter clothes. And you don't want to do it right at the beginning or right at the end of winter or summer. You want to wait for like a few weeks into that season and then go and do your shopping. Another great time to go shopping for clothing, whether it's for like winter fashion or summer, spring, autumn, whatever the season, is in January. So in January, everybody's focused on back to school, back to work, office supplies. So a lot of fashionable items, a lot of clothing that are not related to like school uniforms and all of that, they are all on sale or not as high in demand. Basically, this first tip has to do with demand. As soon as something is not so much in demand, you can expect the price to go right down. The second tip is location. So basically you want to target outlying stores, and that is in areas where you know that the population is not so fashion savvy or trendy in that way. For example, in mining towns, we have a lot of those in Johannesburg. Then you have towns whereby there's a lot of elderly people living there because of the old age homes. And then unfortunately, it's sad to say, but in rural areas and also in some townships, you'll find that most of the shopping malls there and shopping centers are underserved. In these outlying areas, you'll find that the stores that are there are often the last to receive stock. They are not prioritized. You'll find that by the time an item goes on sale, they only just received it like not so long ago. These shoes are actually bought at an outlying area, like in an outlying shopping mall, and this was a few years ago. I haven't actually worn them yet. As you can see, I usually will buy stuff when I see them at a low price, and then I'll just keep them in my cupboard. The original price was 200 Rand or 199.99, and they had been in that store for over a year, I think. And when I purchased them, they were on sale, and I only bought them for 72 rands. Tip number 3 is factory outlets. A lot of retailers have factory outlets where they sell their items at a lower price, and these are items that have minor defects or were produced at a lower quality, and they are basically sold at lower prices. I absolutely love them. They are my favorite place to go for quality fashionable items. My most favorite one that I can think of right now is Cotton On. They have quite a few of those factory outlets around. It's mostly the bigger brands that have factory outlets. So for those of you guys that are brand conscious and want that name, which I don't necessarily go for, this is the best tip for you. You get brands like Reebok, Adidas, all of those big brands. They have factory outlets where you can buy amazing items. And for this, I just want to refer you to a YouTuber called Nomalinah. She always has the plug on all of these factory outlets. I will link her channel in the description box as well. She has amazing plugs, so please check her out. My next tip is that you try visiting the stores that cater mainly to low to medium income earners, and these are your Pep stores, your Ackermans, your what's the other one, your PQs, your my favorite one, Fashion World. Those stores have hidden gems, okay? You just have to have a good eye. And also be careful that you don't buy something that everyone else will be wearing. That has happened to me like a few times, so just be careful of that. I don't know if you've noticed, but some of these items that you'll find at the more expensive stores, you are also likely to find at the more cheaper stores, but just with a different name. They're exactly the same item, but they just are labeled differently. Go to your Truworths, your what else, your Superbalist, and then compare the items you find there to what you would find in a Mr. Price store, for example. And this is especially true for retailers such as Mr. Price and Ackermans. They most of the times have items that are like very similar, if not exactly the same as the items that you would find at the more expensive stores. This style of boots I'm sure you've seen elsewhere. I got these from Mr. Price. They were also on sale. Shein had the same style of boots for $359 and Cotton On had them for 700 Rand or $699. My last tip is for you to go and visit China malls and all these other dodgy markets and street stores. Those are the places where you can get some really good stuff at some cheap prices. And I'm not necessarily talking about brand items because I don't want to encourage anyone buying a knockoff or a what do they call them, a counterfeit. Like I said before, I'm not a big name person. It doesn't matter to me how much someone else thinks my item of clothing costs. So at these little markets and street stores and dodgy places, you can find some great things. My favorite places to go are the China malls, Marabis or Marabastad. That's where you can find those few little stores. Like there's always that one store where you will always find the gems, the quality items that are fashionable. Again, you also have to have that eye and also be careful that you're not buying something that everyone else will be wearing. These shoes here I bought from Marabis or Maravastad, and they were only like 70 Rand. Original price. Looking at these and also feeling them, the quality is not that bad actually. It's actually the same as what I showed you now with these other shoes from a proper store. You also just have to be willing to dedicate that time to digging and looking attentively to find those rare fashionable pieces. And then also, just when you go to these places, remember safety first. These places are dangerous, so when you go there, don't take your valuables. I've already mentioned Nomalinah and her plugs, and I've seen quite a few plugs that she's put out there regarding the China malls, even the Maraba stats. So go over there and look at what she has to say. That is it from me. I hope that this is helpful for you, and hopefully we can all be bougie on a budget. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.